feel like I wear gray sweatshirts in every single video, or like the same one, but I promise you guys, I just own like 15 gray sweatshirts, so it looks like I'm wearing the same thing in every video, but that's literally all I own is gray sweatshirts. I just opened a package that I thought I clicked record for, and it didn't record anything, so I will not be opening it with y'all. Well, this happened a few hours ago, but I ended up getting The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna in the mail. If you have not seen my last video, you should go watch it, but I basically read books out of my comfort zone for a week, and one of the books that I read was a historical fiction book. It was The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and I fell in love with that book. It is like a 6-star read for me, top of the top. It is my new favorite read of all time. After I read that, I was like, Kristen Hanna is like my new favorite author, and then I was like, girl, you need to read more books by her before you decide if she's your favorite author, you know? So I was looking through Kristen Hanna's books, and I was like, which one do I want to order? And the one that looked most interesting to me was The Four Winds. I just got this a few hours ago, but I bought it off of eBay. I love buying books secondhand. I got The Nightingale secondhand from a Goodwill. I got this from eBay. There is a account, I've said this before, but there's an account on eBay called like Second Sale. I have bought like 20 books from them, and this book was like $5. It's always free shipping. They do buy 3 get 1 free. I only got this time, but I would highly recommend checking them out because this book is in almost perfect condition, and it was $5 total, literally total. I'm already on page 44, and this book is about living in the Great Depression and living in like the Great Plains when like the Dust Bowls hit, and just like that time period. Like so far they're in the Panhandle, they're in like Dalhart, Texas, which I've actually been there, which is so weird, but this is Dalhart, Texas in 1921, I think it says. Yeah, 1921. We're kind of just learning what life was like in the Panhandle in the 20s, and how, like, you know, like wheat was very, like, wheat was making people rich selling it, and like the farmlands, and how the automobiles just came out and are now starting to become popular, and people are moving from like the horse-drawn carriages to automobiles. And I love history. I love history. That's always been my favorite subject, and that's probably why I love Kristen Hanna's books so much. Like reading about World War II and the Nightingale was such an experience, and now reading about this time period, the 1920s in Texas, I'm just loving this book so far, you guys. I'm literally loving it. I was really scared that I was gonna get another Kristen Hanna book and not like it as much as The Nightingale. I can't say that I like do or don't love it as much because I'm only 44 pages in, but I'm really liking it so far. Basically, this is just following a girl named Elsa. She's 20, she just turned 25, and she lives in Dalhart, Texas with her family, her mom, her dad, and her 2 sisters. And she basically grew up being told that she was like the ugly sister. She would never get married, no man would ever want her. She had like a really bad fever, like a very bad illness when she was 14, and it almost killed her, and her parents just treat her like she's still sick, and like they don't want her to go do anything. They're just like, you're not as pretty as your sisters, like no man will ever want you. And it finally was enough for her. She was like, I feel caged in being in this house for like so much. And so one night she sneaks out and tries to go to a speakeasy in like a really nice red silk dress that she made. She doesn't end up getting into the speakeasy, but while she's out and about sneaking around, she ends up meeting this guy, and they over the next few months end up sleeping together a few times. They're not dating, but it's like just a little fling. And she ends up getting pregnant at 25, which 25 is not like too young to have a baby, but in her parents' eyes, when they find out, they're like, you've disgraced us, we want nothing to do with you anymore. And so the dad actually tells her to pack a bag. Well, the mom does, and then the dad takes her to the guy's house that got her pregnant and drops her off, and it's like, I never want to see you again. He could take care of you now. Like, he told him, like, my daughter is now your responsibility because you got her pregnant and she's a disgrace to us. And that's literally where I'm at. Like, that's where I just ended reading. It's so good so far. I literally love history. I love history. Not that her books are based off of like real families, like these are not real names of like real people, but this kind of stuff did happen. You know, like this is like, we're learning about stuff that happened in the Great Plains and stuff, and I love history so much, which is probably why I love her writing. But she's so good at storytelling. Like, I just want to read every single one of Kristen Hanna's books, and I probably will. But yeah, we're just gonna spend a few days together. Spring is almost over, and I'm really sad. We're gonna have a reading vlog. I'm gonna read this book, and I kind of want to clean out my closet one last time before spring ends. And then I just need to do some general like apartment cleaning. The apartment's actually a mess back there. You can probably see a sock behind me. I forgot to move that. But yeah, we're just gonna spend a few days together. I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. I think I'm just gonna sit here and read for the rest of the day. It's already 5:38 p.m. So I think I'm just gonna read for the rest of the day, but I'll probably talk to y'all tomorrow once I start cleaning. It's been a few days since I have last talked to y'all. I think that the last time I talked to y'all was literally when I was starting this book. And I think after that, I filmed a little bit that day. I think I just like picked up around the apartment, did some cleaning, stuff like that. But it's a few days later and I actually finished this book last night. So I wanted to talk to y'all about it. This was another incredible read by Kristen Hanna. She is the absolute best at storytelling and making you cry, because I've cried so much in both of the books I've read by her now, which is The Nightingale and this. I think I explained a little bit about what this book was about in the last, like in the intro, but basically there's a mom named Elsa and she has two kids named Loretta and Ant, and they live in the Great Plains of Texas. They live up in the Panhandle by Amarillo, and they live on Elsa's in-laws, like her husband's parents. They have a wheat farm, and so they all live together. And once the Great Depression hits and the dust storms start and you know, they're not getting paid for their crops and stuff, that's where everything just kind of starts going downhill. The husband ends up leaving them in the middle of the night at his parents' house and is basically just like, I'm so depressed here, like I have to leave. So leaves his family, and then stuff just keeps getting worse and worse. Like the kids are starving, they're getting sick from the dust, and the single mom makes a very hard decision to pack her kids up and move them west to California, because California was promising jobs and security and stuff like that. And so she makes the hard and long trek to California. And think about this in the 30s, okay? Like even in a reliable car, driving from Texas to California is a long trip. Think about being in the 30s where you have no food, you're not in a reliable car. Like cars are just now getting popular. Like you're a single mom alone with your two kids, you don't know where you're going. Like just so scary, and I just cannot imagine what that would have been like. So you follow them to California, and then once they get there, you just follow them trying to get jobs and find shelter and food and stuff like that. And it's so heartbreaking because kids were literally starving. I mean, adults were too, but children were starving because parents couldn't put food on the table. And people in California were so mean to people coming from the Great Plains. They called them Okies, which I'm guessing, you know, because you're coming from like Oklahoma or whatever. I don't know if that really happened, but it's kind of reminding me of stuff going on in the world today. Like people are just trying to go and make a better life for themselves, especially in the country they're already in. And people in California were being so mean to them, acting like they were criminals. And it's just, it was so heartbreaking. And the children had to work too. Like children were out in the fields picking cotton at like 10 years old. And that is just like the saddest thing ever. But it's all just so they could eat and, you know, have water and shelter. And so yeah, just absolutely heartbreaking. I don't think it's going to be a 5-star like The Nightingale, but it's very close. I think it's going to be like a 4.5. I absolutely loved it, and I would highly recommend this book to literally anyone. And then because I can't just like not ever read, I picked up another book on my Kindle called Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This is a dark fantasy romance. When I first started this book, I'm only 7% of the way in, by the way, but when I started this, I thought they were witches, but it's actually a family of like necromancers. I don't even know if that's how you say that. And I didn't even know what that was, and I'm 25 years old. I had to look it up last night. It's basically people who can like talk to the dead, like have a connection with the dead. And so the mom just died, and there's two sisters named Ophelia and Genevieve. And Ophelia is now like the head of the family. She did this like ritual to where she now is like the head of the family. She sees dead people, like ghosts, and they live in New Orleans, which is really cool. I don't think I've ever read a book in New Orleans or like that takes place in New Orleans. And it's very much giving, if any of y'all watched the third season, I think it was the third season of American Horror Story, the Coven, to where it's like the witches. That is what this book is giving so far. I'm only 7% of the way in, like that could change, but it's giving that so far. So I'm enjoying it. Don't really have much to say because like I said, I'm only on page 25. But I'm about to head out and go to Goodwill. I'm not going to go to the one directly next door to my apartment because I hate that Goodwill. They have the worst book selection I've ever seen in my life. I don't think I've ever gotten a good book from there. but the town north from me, I love their Goodwill. That's where I got the Nightingale. And there was another book by Kristen Hanna there. It was like her little Christmas novella that's like 20 years old, but I saw it there last month, and I just want to see if it's still there, because now that I've read her books, I like want them all on my shelves. So we're just gonna see if it's still there, and then we'll obviously look for some other books too. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready and then we will head out. Guys, I like hit the jackpot today. So I ended up going to the Goodwill like 10 minutes north of me, like I said, the one that usually has really good books, and they had The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a very popular TikTok book, or it used to be. It still is. Like, I feel like everyone has heard of this book, but it's in like almost perfect condition. It's just a little bent down here, but other than that, like perfect condition. So got this for $1.99. I've read 2 other books by her. I've read Daisy Jones and the Six and Forever Interrupted. I did not like Forever Interrupted, but I did like Daisy Jones and the Six. Then I ended up just going to the Goodwill next door, like on the way home, the one next door to my apartment. I had a feeling, I had a hunch that there was like food on my arm. I had a feeling that there was gonna be something. And they ended up having 2 Harry Potter books. They ended up having Chamber of Secrets in hardcover, and then they had Goblet of Fire in paperback, which is so funny because I literally own both of these books, but the ones that are on my shelf right now, I own Chamber of Secrets in paperback, and then I own Goblet of Fire in hardcover. So it was like flip-flopped. I was gonna get both, but I really just want to build up my like original hardcover collection, because these are like what they originally came out in. And then the hardcover I have up there right now of Goblet of Fire is a first edition. This is not a first edition, but it is. I just really want to like build my collection because I love these like old covers. So yeah, I did not get the paperback of Goblet of Fire because it wasn't like in the best condition. So I just ended up getting this. I've already read the books like 10 times, but slowly growing my hardcover collection. I know the lighting's probably really bad, but look at how pretty that is. I now have 2 hardcover editions, which it kind of bugs me. So like, why does this one, I know this is a first edition, but like this one says book 4. This one doesn't have a book thing up there. I don't know. Maybe they're different. These are also different colors. I don't know if that's just because it's like different covers. I'm not sure. I need to look that up. It is the next day. I think that I'm gonna end the video today, but I still really need to clean the blinds. So I have 2 windows in the living room, and then I have one in the bedroom that I need to clean. That's literally all the windows that we have in our apartment. So I'm gonna go around really quickly, clean those, and then I'll probably give y'all an update on where I'm at in Phantasma, and then we'll probably end the video there. I feel like the best way to do this would be just with a wet washcloth, so that's what I'm gonna do. Oh my god, that was like one big swipe. Do you see how dirty that was already? That is crazy. Okay, I just went around and wiped down all of the, what do I keep wanting to call those floorboards? They're blinds. Wow. Where am I getting floorboards from? That shit's hard. If anyone has any tips on how to clean blinds without them like going crazy while you're trying to wipe them down, please let me know, because do I just not have common sense, or is that just like a really annoying task to do? Anyway, I'm gonna end the video here, but I wanted to give you an update on where I'm at in Phantasma because I'm loving this book. I'm on chapter 13, which is page 90, so I'm 21% of the way through. This is such a unique fantasy book in the sense of it deals with ghosts and phantoms and ghouls, and there's one more type of ghost in this, and I can't think of what it is. Ghouls, phantoms, ghosts, and I think apparitions, and they're all like different levels of like, I don't know, I guess like being dangerous. And so we're kind of getting into where I've heard that this book is kind of like Cardball, and we're kind of getting there because Phantasma is like a big game, and they finally made it into the game because Ophelia thinks that her sister ran away into the game, and so Genevieve is there, she thinks, and Ophelia wants to go save her, so she entered the game too, and they're in this like giant castle, this giant manor, and Ophelia has met a phantom, which is like the not third most dangerous, the second most dangerous. I think only above him is like a ghoul, but phantoms can, like, I honestly don't even know yet. He did something earlier and I can't remember what it was, but phantoms are a little bit scary, and this guy, he says that he can like help her find her sister and help her through this game, but she's confused because he's not like a staff of Phantasma, but he's trapped in that house forever. I don't know, it's so weird, but I've never read a fantasy book where a human girl falls in love with like a apparition, like a ghost. So I think that's gonna be really, really interesting. I don't know if that's what ends up happening. I would guess so. Like, this has to be the main male character. But his name, he said to call him Blackwell. I don't know if that's his real name. But this is just such an interesting book. Me and my boyfriend have been meaning to go to New Orleans for so many years, and we've never gotten around to it, but now I really, really want to go to New Orleans because it's such like a magical and like spooky place, and that's exactly how it's portrayed in this book too. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I am obviously not going to finish the book in this video. It's probably going to take me a few days to finish it, but I'll probably pick it up in my next vlog that I'm going to be starting here in a few days, so, or maybe today. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. This was really the last like spring vlog for the year. I didn't do a lot of spring vlogs this year like I did last year. I honestly feel like we just kind of went from winter to summer here in Texas, and I don't know, I feel like spring is my least, no, I wouldn't say spring is my least favorite. Summer's definitely my least favorite season, but I feel like we skipped spring altogether. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.